Hi. Today's practice is going to be mostly a practice of our attention, in the sense that it's going to be a full 10 minutes dedicated to this particular technique, in which we're going to layer some gentle small movements of the body with the mental intention of focusing and feeling that slow motion. Now, the movement itself is not complicated. It is simply bringing one finger to your thumb, progressively down one hand, and then back up. Notice that I did not hit that last finger twice. It's just a detail. It's not consequential in any way that I know. It's just a detail. So the idea here is that we'll steady the breath, welcome the movement layered onto the breath. So for each inhale, the hand will open slightly. Each exhale, a finger will come to the thumb. Inhale and open, next finger come to the thumb. Complete one hand across and back. Move over to the other hand, across and back. And that will test our attention span in order to cultivate, hopefully, the discipline of staying with even something that is non-threatening, simple, perhaps even boring. What is it about this skill that is beneficial? Well, I don't know about you, but there's plenty of things in my life that I need to stay in attention to, even though on some level, my brain or my heart has already deemed it as unworthy of my attention, because it's not life-threatening, it doesn't feel relevant, it doesn't feel like it has that wow factor to keep me engaged. All right, here we go. Take a few breaths. When the breath has steadied and the body has landed, we begin again the intention by directing our focus to the gentlest movement in the hands. When my hands are resting on my lap, you don't need to see, you don't need to even mimic that per se. On the inhale, space opens. On the exhale, touch, close finger to thumb. Inhale, open. Proceed across your hand and back to the beginning, thumb to first finger, and then proceed to the second hand. Notice what you're noticing. What's become apparent to me is that as I move intentionally slowly through this gentle movement, this simple movement, the complementary or the other muscles involved are a little bit quaky. almost as if they're expressing the pent-up energy, layering the stillness of the body on the intentional movement of just the fingers, and how that feels a bit unfamiliar from my normal way of operating in the world. Therefore, there may be some unfamiliar anxiety that can creep in. Just notice what you notice, whether or not you have a story or an explanation. Notice what you notice. No judgment, just observe. And in that observation, choose how to direct your attention. In this structure of repetition, of layering attention on top of the intention of stillness with micro movements. Notice where that familiar meets the unfamiliar, the stable meets perhaps what feels unstable or threatening even. Controlling rather than stabilizing. Notice what's coming up, what's falling away, what's captured your attention, where you can direct and deepen, whether it's the slowing of your pace, the evening of the transitions, noticing perhaps the consequential touches of one finger sliding by another as movement towards the destination dominates. Chime has concluded our working portion. You may proceed to finish this sequence or release to a fuller embodiment of the stillness in this practice.
Cool down.
And releasing all effort of position, of mudra, of regulating the breath or harnessing the mind. Just let yourself begin this re-entry, this reintegration. Perhaps the hands turn over to palms touch the tops of your thighs, your belly, your heart. Take a bigger volume of breath. Let it travel not just down into the belly, but broad across the ribs. Perhaps letting it out with a sigh or a moan. Just as this practice has been an invitation to deepen our focus and our intention, and then a permission to release and let go of that intention, this is applicable to the rest of our life as well. As soon as we notice what we're attached to, we have a choice. Do we cultivate that attachment? Or do we practice that disengagement, that letting go? Never having to let go of the value of that which is offered, but simply releasing us from the control that keeps us from the power of choice. The hands come to rest together, and perhaps there is an intention for you to repeat this practice to see what might have shifted or opened in terms of your depth of awareness and your supple relationship with attachment. Be well. May you breathe deeply and move freely, labor lovingly, and live vibrantly. Namaste. Thank you.